Shiba Inu, watch out. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you guys here today. Shiba Inu, watch out. This is literally exactly what we talked about yesterday. Price has fallen exactly into our supply and demand zone to the downside. We have found support. We're going to check in today's video. We're going to check the charts on the weekly, daily, and the 4-hour to see if this is a potential of a continued rally here, or are we going to be dropping back down to the launch zone. So this is a very, very important video for you today. Make sure you stick with me here till the end. We are also going to cover Ethereum and Bitcoin. Same scenario there. You'll notice that the drops are happening right now. Hey, if you're new here, my name is Ryan Huggins. I'm a real estate agent and a crypto and real estate investor here in Southern California. And my job is to help be your crypto shortcut. If you're like most people, you don't have the opportunity to go through hours and hours of articles and headlines and YouTube videos every day because you have other things to do. Well, that is what I do. That's my job here at the channel. And I bring that information to you in a condensed manner every single day, along with the charts as well. So if you're looking for a crypto shortcut, smash that subscribe button worth of free crypto. Also, if this video gets 5,000 likes, I'm going to throw an additional $100 to one of you guys down in the comments section. So here it is. This is exactly what we talked about yesterday. Why did we talk about that? We talked about it because yesterday we mentioned we had price get to the overbought territory, meaning it got too hot and it needed to come back and cool down. And yesterday we talked about how this was a little bit of a correction in there. And then after the video, I actually continued doing some research and studying. And sure enough, you know what popped up is this symmetrical triangle pattern. And so I watched and watched and watched as price got to where we are now. It actually jumped into our 1-hour supply and demand zone and then fell even more. And so what we're going to take a look at here is price action. So yesterday when we were recording the video, we were right here. We hadn't even come back to the support zone of the supply and demand. And then after we recorded the video, it started making its way up. When it rejected here, that's when I started going, okay, well, we need to find out what's going on. So what I did is I went back, I connected the top and then the second touch point to a third touch point. And then sure enough, it came down to the bottom. It ran up. It almost took off to the upside, but we continued watching. It broke to the downside, went in our supply and demand zone, and it did not stay in there. It rejected out. But what you'll notice is this hour, the hour that we're in right now, it actually ran back up and literally retouched that supply and demand zone. But it gets even more spooky with these supply and demand zones and how literally accurate they are. So this fell. And as we talked about in yesterday's video, since it did break down here, we were watching for it to come up, retest that zone, and we very likely could fall back to that quad 0130 territory. And I was like, dang, that's a pretty drastic fall. Let's hope that doesn't happen. So what I looked at here is I looked at right now, we have our RSI on the 1-hour. We don't usually drop this low, but this was important. The 1-hour is now oversold and it's crazily oversold. All right. So more than likely, I see some sort of battle back potentially coming. So if we go to the 4-hour though, we'll notice that we just reached the 50% line. So unfortunately, there is still a lot ways to drop from the 50 to the 30. There's a big drop that's still potential. And then even more on the daily chart, as you can see here, it's creating this shark fin looking option here. That is also a bearish signal, and we could very likely see a continued drop. But this is still on the daily. This is still all the way in overbought territory. So the larger the time frame, the more serious of a drop we could be experiencing here. Now, what we did talk about yesterday also, and it's still relevant today, we very likely will see an RSI continued drop. But in the next day or two, we may see a rally in price to the upside. So price may shoot up. We may even create a newer high. Okay, so we may create a newer high. This is a potential of a bearish divergence coming into play. So what would that mean? That would mean tomorrow or the next day or something, price getting just above our previous high here. So we have this pullback, this moonshot rocket back again, and then that would create on the RSI a bearish divergence because price would have gone up while RSI is already starting to climb down. So we're going to watch for that. That's not for sure going to happen. By the way, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is just information that we're covering here. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because we talk about it here on the channel. Now, there's a couple of things that do stand out to me right now from the charts. And remember, all the stuff we're doing is just from technical analysis that we see here in the chart. So first and foremost, when we take our indicator here and we pull up the, let's see here, fair value gap. We talked about this yesterday too. There's still this giant fair value gap right here. And to fill that fair value gap back down here, that gets us all the way to the quad 013. And if you guys go back 3 or 4 videos ago, I did a video specifically right here on this day, the day before the breakout, which was August 13th, talking about quad 013 was the most important number possible for Shiba Inu. And sure enough, that day, the 14th, it broke and it exploded, but it left this ginormous gap or imbalance, or as we call it here, a fair value gap to the downside that does need to be filled, whether it's now or in the future. That imbalance will need to be filled. So I was talking about, I'd rather fill it quicker than later, because if we get months from now all the way up here, you know, into like quad 024, and then it has to come back and fill it, we don't like that. In fact, we still have this lurking fair value gap all the way down here back at the 5-0 territory. So I'm not going to say that the bull run has officially started, because there's a few indications that we may be coming back. We very likely could even, I know this is not a liked opinion here. Everyone does not like this opinion. I get it. But there is an opportunity here where price actually comes back down below these previous lows. I said it, and I'm sorry, but what happens there? Well, we have a new lower low in price. But we can see here on this weekly chart, RSI is climbing. If this price drops rapidly and quickly and gets it out of the way, RSI would not have a chance to get that low. So even if RSI starts to return back down, let's say it gets to here, well, we have this price drop. RSI is still over time increasing, giving us that weekly bullish divergence. That's when I'm going, I'm all in, I'm bullish, let's freaking rock and roll. Again, this is with paper trading, not real money, just having fun here, not financial advice. But when it does show us a bullish divergence, I'm going all in on paper trading. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And we're going to see what happens with that. Okay. So that's where we're at on the weekly. Those are some outcomes. Now, dropping back to the daily, this right here did play out as I suspected. There's still more moves to the downside to possibly play out as well. Now we drop here to the 4-hour charts. As you can see, oh yeah, I wanted to show you here in a second. Let's go now. All right. So jumping here, Heikinashi. Now, as you guys know, I like to go down in smaller time frames to find spots that it could land, right? So we went to the 1-hour time frame. That's where we got this candle right here. That's where we got this supply and demand box. Even though it was doing all of this, we said if it breaks to the downside, we could return to the lower, because there is no other red candle anywhere there. And then I thought to myself, I was like, that's a really far drop. That's a really, really far drop for, you know, obviously there would have to be a lot of shorts liquidated right there, something like that. Maybe there's like a smaller potential stoppage in here. So I went down to the 15-minute chart earlier today, and I went back in history. I was like, oh, sure enough, look at this. So there is, I don't even have a color for this yet, but on the 15-minute, look how precise this supply and demand system is. It's crazy. So we go to the last red candle here. The last red candle is this little one right here. It's a doji before the green move. All right. And then what we do is we stretch this into present time. And oh my gosh. All right. So if you guys are new to charting and you're learning, look at this. Maybe you're experienced. Maybe you're a pro trader and you're the best trader out there. If you're not using this potential strategy for your own good, test it out. Again, all you got to do is turn on Heikinashi, whatever time frame you want. Find the random candle, the last candle before the up move, and that will give you where price could be going, right? So now the other scenario is this though. Right now, price is hanging out in this supply and demand zone. There is nothing. There literally is nothing until we get down here which is this red candle here. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's remove this 4-hour supply and demand zone that we've got plugged in. And let's go ahead and box off this one right here. All right, so this is where price, according to this supply and demand method, is where price could be coming back to if price continues to drop. All right, let's go to present day. And here we are. But look, we go here, and this is how accurate this is. So this one going back in history, that's that 15-minute supply and demand zone. Boom, it literally hit the very bottom of it, exactly rejected off of there. Now, what are we looking for in our current phases, right? So if we're in the 15-minute time frame, you can see we are oversold. So there's probably going to be a small micro rally. Where does that rally get us? Boom, it gets us back into the 1-hour supply and demand zone, where that will act as a support or resistance, right? So if this starts to pump back up here, does it get in the box like it did here and stay there and then make its move to the upside? Because that's what I'm looking for. I'm like, okay, where could we potentially be going back up, right? Because we want to move price back to the upside. But right now, even if we go to the daily and we go to our market cipher A and we look at our moving averages, you can see right now, if this price continues to drop and it hits our 21 exponential moving average, that price is right here right now, quad 01314. Then we go to the 4-hour. We talked about this yesterday. Look at this. We talked about potentially price coming back to the 21 exponential moving average. And we talked about that when we were recording this video yesterday's video, right? Sure enough, price trade sideways, came back down, and it did it. It hit 21 exponential, and it even broke below it. So it broke below it. And then it rejected on the next 4-hour, continued, broke down again. So our next level here, since there is nothing to catch us, not even on the 15-minute, is going to be the 50 moving average, which is currently sitting at quad 0140. Okay, so this is downside. Now, the other thing that we're looking at here, price has now gotten to the bottom of the Bollinger Band on the 4-hour. So we very likely could see a continued little bounce here, which, as we saw on the 15-minute time frame, it looks like price is trying to rally back to our 1-hour supply and demand zone, which it did it already and rejected off this current hour, but it's starting to gain that momentum again. Jumping back to the 4-hour, you can see it's moving its way back up. Is it going to get back in this box? So do we just have a long wick and then it comes back up in here? That's what I'm hoping for our sake, right? Because we have for the bull runners, for the long bias trades right now, things of that nature, people that are wanting Shiba Inu to the moon. That was yesterday's title. I said not so fast because we were potentially coming back down today. Sure enough, we did. But this gives us a good hope here. We're at the bottom. We could see a little rally back up here. So we got a lot to watch over the next couple of hours. So pay attention to Shiba Inu. If the price breaks below our 15-minute supply and demand zone here, quad 01450, if price ends up breaking its way down there, then we very likely could see a return and a retest of that quad 0130. Now, that's not, it sounds really bad when you think about it, right? Like, oh my gosh, price could come all the way back down there after we had this massive moonshot candle. That is really, really bad for it to come back there. But not really, because what do we always want to see happen? We want to see price break a level, retest that level, and take it over and conquer that level and move on. Well, we broke it, but we have not retested it. We haven't even, we got too far away, as I always like to say, right? You guys hear me say that a lot. On the daily time frame, look, we were just cruising along that 21 exponential. Price got too far away, so it's being sucked back like a magnet, and we very likely could come back to the 21 exponential moving average. So there's a little room for a rally here on the smaller time frame of the 4-hour. You can see there's room to the upside because the Bollinger Band is acting as a little bit of a support there, but that's starting to open up now. So that could even, this price could fall along with the Bollinger Band. So going back over here, you can see how price rode it up, right? So you can see how price jumped outside and rode up quick, and then the Bollinger Band expanded. You can see it was really tight right here. constricted, and then it expanded. Right now, it's really expanded, and it's expanding even more. So price could continue to fall there on the 4 hour. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I mean, right here is the 50 moving average on the 4 hour, and that puts us right here at quad 013, basically quad 014. Jumping to the 1 hour though, we are now oversold. So giving us the next couple of hours, it might continue dropping a little bit, but I could see a short-term rally to the upside, jumping all the way to the 15-minute charts, also oversold. So, I mean, there's a little luck or a little rally to the upside that's possible, but the reality is everything's looking pretty bearish. You can see here on the 15, the bearish crossover of the moving averages, the 30 minutes bearish crossover, the 1 hour, it has now officially bearish crossed over. The 4 hour, the 4 hour moving average is starting to slope down, but they have not crossed. The 2 hour is about to cross to the downside right now. So there may be a little relief rally coming, but the signs are showing we may see a continued drop of Shiba Inu, which is okay. It sucks. Obviously, we don't want to see that, but the markets are all red today, not looking great. We do want to see this retest of this zone. We don't want to see the price return all the way down to, you know, lower lows and things. But at the same time, it's not the end of the world if we can create that bullish divergence for the real ramp to the upside. So we've been talking about this. Is this just a bear market rally? It's starting to look like that, showing some signs. Things are cooling off. We may see a return to the downside. So for those of you that are making real trades, again, I'm not a financial advisor. Those of you guys that took some profits up there, congratulations on that. That's really cool. I'm, you know, winning. I'm all about winning. I hope you guys continue winning. And taking profits is part of winning. Jumping over to Ethereum now, we have our levels drawn out here. So we're taking a look. This is our daily Ethereum chart. Price could very likely come to the 21 exponential moving average. It's like what we talked about. Okay, so it's starting its way down. It's continuing its way down. When we jump over here to the 4 hour time frame, you can see here, it's already crossing over, bearish cross. It did fall out of our 4 hour supply and demand zone that we've been talking about. It did drop out of that. It went up and retested it. And even this new 4 hour candle is continuing to drop. We look here at the 1 hour time frame. Switch to Heikinashi. You can see we have a 1 hour supply and demand candle here. 1 hour is blue, so we switch it to blue. And we'll stretch it. You can see right there, bang, bang, bang. Came in and hit it exactly on that spot, right? So the supply and demands, these things are strong. Well, let's see if there's one to the downside on the 15-minute, just in case, because there is levels of dropping here. There is not. So as of right now, if Ethereum continues its drop, even on the higher time frame, its next landing spot is this 4 hour supply and demand box, which puts us at 1693 at the top side and a 1668 on the bottom side of that box. But it is holding strong support on this 1 hour time frame at this exact moment. You can see it's just playing in between these, but we do have the bearish crosses on the moving averages on the daily. You can see we're extremely far away from that 21 exponential moving average, 1764, which could potentially catch it as a net prior to it actually getting to that 1693. Down 2.7% today for Ethereum. Now, if for some reason, let's look here. Well, even here on the daily, look at how overbought this is. It's all the way up at 76, right? So price, the Bollinger Bands are pinching. We're getting to the top. Even the moving average line, this yellow line, is getting to the oversold. And that very rarely happens, that this line gets to the oversold or overbought or oversold, which it has been doing as of recent, right? So right here, when we did our most recent potential bottom of the market, the moving average line of our RSI TDI, it even got down below oversold territory, but now it's up at overbought territory. And as we know, price likes to move up and down based on those oversold, overboughts. Now we do also have our Fibonacci we drew yesterday from the bottom. to the top of this section of price and looking at where price is going now, it is currently bouncing on the 5-0 line. So let's stretch this a little. Oh, that's right. We took that all the way up to the daily. So let's not worry about that. Let's do a Fibonacci from our most recent low to what we'll now see as the most recent high. So a bottom top of the oversold territory, and see where price is heading. So obviously it rejected here. So we're coming back down. Here is the 236. The 382 level is all the way down here at 1590. And then getting back into the 700 level or the 618, which is around here, 1,300 bucks. Yeah, no real signs in the Fibonacci playing out that way. There was better sign if we play this all the way up to our daily supply and demand zone up there. You can see right now it's bouncing. It's catching some support on the 0.50 line. It rejected off the 0.382. So we'll see if it continues making its move down. The 786, look at this though. The 7.8, so it's the move, and then usually there's a pullback of the move, and that pullback of that move would put us here at 1,285. That's also that massive breakout line that needed to break, and it finally did, and it exploded to the upside. And when you take a look at it here on the weekly, it makes a lot more sense, right? On the daily, you see that there's all this chop on the way up. But on the weekly, you can see it was just this big giant move. And then very likely we could see a come back down and then a move. And that would be okay, actually, because what would happen? Well, we have this new high, and then it comes down and makes a new higher low. So we just don't want to go lower than this. New higher low, and then moving to the upside. But going back to the weekly stuff, if price does come below, and like we've been talking about, so if price gets lower and our RSI is moving up on the weekly, as we can see here, okay? If price were to come back down, like we talked about with Shiba Inu as well, price comes back down and creates a new low, then we get what's called a bullish divergence. So let's look at the history. Look at when a bullish divergence hit last. All the way back here, March 23rd of 2020. And that's when, woo, that big ass takeoff took off. Okay, and then we have a bearish divergence that happened here, and it crashed a little. It recovered, but there hasn't been a divergence since there. Okay, so now jumping to Bitcoin, we'll quickly look here. We go back in history, and the last bullish divergence was here. Oh, you know why? Because I don't have the hidden bullish divergences turned on. Let's plot hidden. There we go. So there's a hidden bullish divergence taking off, hidden bullish divergence taking off. Oh, in fact, let's go back and look at Shiba Inu. There is not one. What about on the daily? Nope. Okay, it's good. 4 hour. Nope. All right, good. Ethereum, 4 hour. There's a bullish divergence. That one popped off August 15th. It got a little pump there, but it didn't last long because the markets are turning a little. Daily, nothing. Weekly, nothing. All right. Bitcoin. Same thing here, right? So if we get price, let's come back down to make a new lower low. Now we have prices moving to lower lows. We have RSI moving to higher highs. That would be a bullish divergence. Now, taking a look here at Bitcoin, we haven't really dove into this yet much. Bitcoin got up to that 7.0 line of its Fibonacci and rejected. It's rejected 2 weeks in a row now at the daily. This was that breakout line that we had talked about. The line was from July 30th. It needed to break above that, and it only wicked multiple times. One here, 2, 3, 4 times. It did not break that. It needed to break that to get its nice push and surge up into this 4 hour supply and demand zone, like we saw when it broke through this line here on Ethereum. It pushed and surged, and same thing with Shiba Inu. It pushed and surged. So Bitcoin did not have that happen. Unfortunately, it's rejecting. So we're going to have to continue watching this. Bitcoin's price heading to its 4 hour supply and demand zone here. It's getting very close. That 23,092. There's a whole bunch of these smaller ones. There is a drop here. 21,000, right? So if it breaks all of these lines here, could be dropping back to, so that's like the ultimate support line right there. If it breaks that, we could return to this level, then all of these lower lows, but we'll just take it one step at a time. Right now, we know if it breaks this 4-hour supply and demand zone, 22,832, we could see a continued drop, and it may even get us back to 21,000. Looking here on the daily, it is pretty darn close. It never reached the official 70 level of the overbought territory, but it is making its turn down to the downside, as we can see, and it's pretty sharp. So we'll continue keeping an eye on all of these. I hope you guys enjoyed the TA. Make sure you like and comment down below. Let me know 777 if you're feeling bullish. Where do you think price will be returning to for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Shiba Inu? Let me know in the comments. Let's go look at the news. All right, so here we are on the news, and we'll look at the trending stuff first over here at CryptoPanic.com. Founder of Crypto Capital Venture, Cardano is my favorite crypto. And Cardano ADA is back to 53 cents. Markets react to FOMC meeting minutes that just came out. Sky Mavis Ronin sidechain expands to 17 validators to boost security. And that's really good news because if you remember Axie Infinity, the Ronin chain got hacked. Get ready. Details coming soon. Cardano Summit. Shock flippening. Ethereum finally overtakes Bitcoin, just not the way that you think. Ripple case may have just exposed SEC shortcomings as XRP outlook flips to super bullish. And XRP is up today, 0.45%. It's really the only green token out of all of the other ones. Cardano's JED stablecoin scores another partnership ahead of the launch. Jumping over here to Twitter to find out what's going on. Let's see here. Obviously, we got the Bull Runner Club, potentially the biggest thing that you've ever had a chance to be a part of. The first 1,000 people get VIP whitelist access. Make sure you like this post, comment, go to bullrunners.com and get on that pre-mint list, man. That's going to be very important for you guys. We're going to notify you first, so get over there. Let's check out Satoshi Kusama, see what he's got going on today. Nothing. 22 hours ago, he got tagged in something or retweeted. So nothing important. That's good to know. We're not missing anything for the news. And let's take a look at here. Depositing votes, Gate.io, live for Bone. Woof, our friends at Gate.io are having a listing competition. Show them some love voting for Bone, Join, Shib, and Leash on Gate.io. So that's good. Go over there and vote. Make sure we get that on there as well.